Hey guys, I'm making this video to talk about culture shock in a English-speaking country, United Kingdom, versus a non-English speaking country, Mexico.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking forward to hearing stories, honestly, because I mean, I've been here for like 8 months now, a couple of months anyway, and I know that I have experienced some culture shock, and I talked about it in the video I made about settling in the UK. It's just, everything is different, right? And so like, there's a part of my brain that is finding it hard to comprehend how much different it would be if I was in a place where English was not even like the main language that they speak. I feel like it would be like, it'd be crazy, not just different, it'd be crazy. And luckily, I have a friend who lives in a non-English speaking country. She lives in Mexico.
Yeah.
Mexico. It's all the way now in that place. Like, it's like 16 hours from here, different time zone. You know, UK is like practically the same time zone as Nigeria, so, but she's like 6 hours in away time zone. Like, it's different. So I want to hear stories, and I feel like you guys might want to hear stories too, especially if you're thinking of relocating to somewhere that is like maybe Germany or Netherlands or Mexico, you know, or Barcelona, you know, where it's not a major English speaking country. So yeah, that's what this video is about. UK versus Mexico culture shock. Let's see how it goes. All right.
Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am PC Timmy, a change maker, professional, and creative who is passionate about growing people and growing businesses. Like, comment, subscribe to my channel, and please always share my videos. It promises to always be impactful and insightful.
Tell us in 30 seconds who you are. It's an interview. Tell yourself.
I'm Aisha. My name is Aisha. I'm a content marketer. Yeah, I am. My brand is She's the Aisha. Well, yeah, I'm a content marketer, currently living and working in Guadalajara, Mexico. And yeah, I'm here to share my story about my life so far. I've lived in Mexico for 8 months now. Okay. So,
when you first landed, what was the first thing that struck you? Like, oh my God, I'm here.
Girl, I think it was very surreal for me because first, like from the signs, I was just seeing a lot of Spanish, and like it felt weird because everybody was speaking Spanish too. Like, I mean, I knew that they were going to be speaking Spanish, but just hearing unfamiliar sounds, I was like, okay, I really did this thing. I really came here. And then looking at the people as well, like culture shock right from the airport. So many people were traveling with their pets. Like, I've been in a lot of Nigerian airports because before I traveled to Mexico, I did a lot of Lagos to Abuja. I had a lot of business to do there. And so the most recent images of airports that I had in my head were Lagos airport and the Abuja airport. And then like landing in Mexico City and just seeing pets. From cats to dogs to, I'm just like, why are they not at home? It was such a weird thing, like it was, for me to remember, because it was really a thing for me. I was like, people like to travel with their pets, so
I mean, they're babies anyway.
Exactly. I've come to terms with it now. But you see, at that very moment, I was like, okay, this is a shock for me. I mean, and I don't know if this one is rude, but a lot of people were very short. Like, I don't know if it's rude, and I feel like it's a thing because I actually did some research on the average population, and like, because I felt like, wow, like I felt really tall, and I was like, is this like a, you know, location thing? And I did some research, and it's apparently a thing. Like, people are shorter in certain parts of the world. That was not a thing I knew about until I moved to Like, if somebody told me that it's possible, maybe because they are short, but if somebody wow! I had to do that one. I'm sorry.
This video is ending.
That one was it was staring at me.
On my channel, they cost me.
It was staring at me. You didn't have to say you don't know why it's funny. That was your fault. You took that one upon yourself. You walked into it. That one was, it was you. It was all you.
Okay.
But yeah, I think those were, you know, straight off the bat, straight off the plane, just, why are there so many pets? Why is everybody short? Yeah.
Interesting. What about like I think for me, the first thing that struck me was there was Wi-Fi.
Girl, there's also that.
I mean, there's Wi-Fi in Ghana airport, and I've been to Ghana airport, but like,
there was Wi-Fi.
There's actually Wi-Fi.
Same, I'll see that one.
Wow.
Also, there was organization.
There was, that's
Peace. I did a self-check-in for my suitcase because I had a trip from a local flight from Mexico City to Guadalajara, and it was time to check in, and it was just like super seamless. They were like self-check-in ports, like nobody's queuing. You just go, you print your boarding pass, you just tap your suitcase, you drop it off, and it's done. And I was like, what? Like, I was so confused. Someone had to help me. But honestly, I literally had to ask for help because I was like, I don't know how to use this thing. I've never seen this thing before in my life. That was the first time. That level of organization. There were no queues.
Yeah.
That was so strange to me.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that when I was going to Dubai from London today. Because when I got in, I mean, London was my final destination, so I didn't have to like go somewhere else. And there was a long queue at immigration because I mean, Nigerians come here all the time. But like, when there's queue, but like it's moving
and there's organization, you know exactly what's happening.
And then there's another queue that you just came from 6 hours ago, and it was chaos. And like, I mean, people go to London a lot from Lagos. So like in Lagos airport, it was a mess.
Can I even add one thing? Guys, at Lagos, they weighed my suitcases, and literally all my suitcases were overweight. Like the scales, they were like, madam, you're going to pay extra money, blah, blah, blah. I had to start moving things around in the airport. And I was like, I know what I packed. These suitcases are not supposed to be overweight, but I had to go through a whole thing. And I ended up even paying because I was just like, look, and so all these things are essentials. I'm literally relocating.
Yeah.
So it means that I've packed things that are essential to me. I'm not going to start shuffling my bag at the airport. So I ended up paying extra. And when I got to Mexico City and I had to weigh my bags again for the local flight, they were all like several kilos under what I saw in Lagos. Yes. And nothing had changed.
They just took your money.
I almost ran mad because I was like,
let's go out and fight.
Do you know that? Like, I was just like, this is insane. This is another level of fraud. Like, you've already altered the scales. Like, why? I'm sorry, but why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Lagos.
I mean, something else that blows my mind. I mean, it's been 8 months, but something else that blows my mind every single time is the transportation system here. I don't know how it's like in Mexico, but like, first of all, Uber, the fact that I know how much I'm paying exactly. I mean, Nigeria, they'll give you like an estimate, and it could be anywhere. But like, I know where I'm going to. You know that, if you order Uber, you can take only 3 people. If you order XL, you can take 5. Like, it's programmed in my head now. We're not begging. We're not trying to lap each other. It's just like, this is what this said, kind of cost for this. You know that, after 5 minutes, Uber's driver is like, love my
goodbye.
Like, do you get? But then it's like the trains and the buses.
Yeah.
Like, I can actually say, hey, I'm going to say West London, for instance.
And you can map up your entire journey.
And like to the T.
Yeah.
To the T.
And it's so accurate. I've been vacationing in London for like 2 weeks now, and it's insane. Like the public, it's actually it works. It blows my mind myself.
I prefer taking the train. Not just because I get classic, but also like, I'm like, why not? It's also really cheaper. Like, if I'm going somewhere like far, like when I go and lock my hair, it's in North London, so it takes me like an hour, 20 minutes. I take the train. I don't take Uber. Also will be really expensive. Yeah. I take the train, and it just works. Do you get? Like, when you're entering, you tap with my phone. And when I first came, and I didn't know how to use Apple Pay because I had to change my location, and I'm bringing on my card now. Just go.
Let me just remind you that Apple Pay is real money. As you are tapping and tapping, you are card.
Even one of my friends, Precious doesn't even use his phone. Like, I bring out my phone. He just use his Apple Watch,
and he has gone.
You entered the train. You can see like how many stores. Like, it blows my mind how effective the transportation
system is. I think for Mexico, I haven't used a lot of public transportation. It's there, it's available. There's trains, there's buses, but honestly, I was erring on the side of comfort because language is a thing. In Mexico, the official language is Spanish. Everybody's speaking Spanish. There's people that speak English, and I live in a city called Guadalajara. There's people that speak English. The average population is mostly like young people and stuff, so there's people that speak English, but it's still mostly Spanish. So And when I moved, I mean, even now, I'm not very fluent yet. I'm a lot better than when I was moving from Nigeria. But for me, it was just so much, exactly. It was just so much easier to use an Uber because they're also not very pricey because there's no traffic. Like, it's very predictable. There's no random traffic where you just be on the road.
Rich.
Please mind yourself. There's no random traffic where you just be on the road and you don't know why. Do you know how Lagos traffic is just meaningless? Like, there's no purpose for the traffic. You don't know why there's traffic. So there's nothing like that. So it's really very predictable and it's easy to get anywhere. So I really just use an Uber most of the time, but there's buses and there's trains as well. But I can't really talk much about them because I don't really use them. But yeah, it's
no traffic is
the fact that there's no, like the fact that I know that, okay, I have an appointment by 10 a.m. and the place is 15 minutes away and I will literally leave my house 9:35 just because I don't want to get there at the time of the appointment. I want to leave a buffer and it will be the exact trip time. That's such a, like, you have no idea how much my life, the quality of life has increased just by being able to sleep properly, plan properly. You don't have anxiety about like, oh, the journey because, oh, something unexpected will happen or you need to leave like a 2-hour buffer like in Lagos where if you have a real important appointment where it's not like brunch with your friends that you can't be late. I'm never that person, by the way, but yeah, you know, I'm never that person. You know, you have to live a lot, or you rather, if you're going to the island, maybe you go there from morning and just go and be hanging out before the time of your meeting or something, like, because you know you don't want to be stuck in traffic. It's not that kind of thing. You can, and one resounding feeling is that it feels like I have so much more time in my day. Like peace. Like this one was something, it's something that still occurred to me, like 8 months in, it still occurs to me. Like I've not gotten used to it. Just how many things I can do in one day. Like I'll get up in the morning, I can decide, oh, I want to take a walk, or I want to go straight to work. I work, I'm done working, I can go to Pilates class, come back home, I can say, oh, I want to experiment with cooking something or ordering food. I can watch 2 episodes of a K-drama and it's just 10 p.m. Like I've done so much. And then I'm asking myself, like, why did I not have time? Like, where did all my time go before? I still haven't gotten used to that one. That's the one thing I haven't gotten used to. You can do so much more with your day. Like, it's really wild. Amazing.
What about food? I mean, in London here, like, there's Nigerian food. I've eaten pounded yam and egusi soup. I've eaten beans. I've eaten yam.
You need to stop listing all these things because I'm traveling back home on Friday and I don't like this reminder.
There's almost no Nigerian food I haven't eaten here. But I mean, one of the things I really like about London is that I feel like I can try any food I want to. I'm not very adventurous with food, but like when we're going out, we usually ask each other, what do you feel like? Do you want Nigerian? Do you want Chinese?
There's a diversity of food. Like, it's incredible.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's incredible is actually the word, but it also really feels good that when I'm craving jollof rice and plantain, I know that I can get it.
Now, time to answer that question. First things first, let me explain the reason for this vacation. I flew halfway across the world to come and eat. I'm literally in London to eat. I was like, I want to eat Nigerian food and I don't want to go to Nigeria, so I'm just going to go to London. That's exactly why I'm here. Now, there's no Nigerian restaurant in Guadalajara. There's no African store.
None.
There's none.
Like, nada.
There's no Nigerian restaurant. Trust me. So before I moved there, I was doing some research and I found this Nigerian lady on YouTube that lives in Guadalajara. She was the only person. So, you know, I connected with her, sent her a DM. She had lived there for around 3 years then. She actually became my really good friend because when I got there, we hung out and, you know, she took me to a bunch of places and I asked a lot of questions like, you've been here 3 years before me. Like, you know, what have you found? Is there anything? And there's no, anything that is seemingly Nigerian that she eats, she cooks. And then the thing is, for me, I don't even like to cook, first of all. I also don't think I know how to cook. So buying the ingredients, like, I mean,
for me.
Honestly, because I tried one time to cook jollof rice. It looked like jollof rice, but it did not taste like jollof rice, right?
Like, where did you find the ingredients, though, if you said you're not African?
Girl, I bought like this pre-cooked Knorr rice that it's called arroz con tomate. It's basically rice with tomato. That's the literal translation.
So you
and
have
then
to
I just
find
go
alternate, like things are
precisely
like
exactly.
Ingredients
Yeah, so there's no like jollof rice mix or anything. Except I wanted to buy puff mix on Amazon, and the cost of shipping it was so much more than the puff mix. I actually just closed the entire website. I was so annoyed. So there's a Nigerian restaurant in Mexico City, because I mean Mexico City is the capital city, and I ate there once when I went to Mexico City for something, and the food was mid. It was really mid. It was not that great. Because I was really missing food from home. I had pounded yam and egusi, and I was just like, and I ended up missing my flight. I was so annoyed. But that's not the fact. That's not the point, right? The point is there's one in Mexico City, so it's close to the airport, really like far from the main city. Again, which is, I don't know if there are more because I don't live in Mexico City, so I didn't really do that research. But in Guadalajara, the second biggest city in Mexico, the city where I live, there's no Nigerian restaurant, there's no African store, and there's no Nigerian community. In fact, there's barely a black community. There's a black community on Facebook and stuff, and I've connected with a few of them because my Nigerian friend who has now moved out of Guadalajara, she actually introduced me to a bunch of other black people before she left. But most of them are Americans. She was the only other Nigerian that I know that I met in Guadalajara, and so far she's the only other Nigerian I've met in Mexico, literally.
Wow.
So there's no community.
I can't relate.
Girl, I came here and it felt like I was
like just in Lagos.
Like the vibes were immaculate. It's different.
It's just, I mean, so if there are hardly any other black people, my next question was going to be about like the dating and social life, but like,
I guess the thing again for me is I'm also a very adaptive person and open to trying new things and stuff like that. So even for the food, I said there was a day that I caught myself in my house. I was like hungry and I was like, what am I craving? I was like, maybe I should get some tacos. Cochinita pibil. And I was like, wait, you're craving tacos? When did this happen? So I've kind of gotten used to it. I really did miss the food though. Like I said, I flew Africa because the world's come and eat. But I'm also that person. And with the social life as well, I've made a lot of friends. I did use Bumble, not just the dating part, but Bumble BFF. That was really useful as well to connecting with people. And then I also connected with a lot of people from work because, there's an office in Guadalajara and in Mexico City actually. But anyway, yeah, so there's a lot of people who live in the city and work for the same company as I do. So we were able to, say, let's do drinks and stuff like that. But overall, Bumble has been very useful to just meet people.
And people you're meeting are not black people or Nigerians?
No. I've probably encountered a black person on Bumble maybe a total of 2 times. And I don't think I've
swiped like how many times?
What do you think I did? Of course. So I did swipe right. One of them, we actually started a conversation, but I feel like I matched like 2 minutes into the conversation.
Why?
It was giving alpha male energy. I was just like, what is going on? And the other person, oh my God, this one, when I recount the story, it actually pisses me off a lot. The thing is, I found that a lot of people that I was connecting with were mostly just curious, right? And not curious about you as like a person, but curious more around like, oh, what's this black person doing here? Because like I said, that's not a thing that you see every day, right? I walk into a room and I'm quite literally the only black person there. So I went to lunch with this guy, black American from Bumble, and he's asking all these different questions like, oh my God, you guys, like I didn't realize you guys actually spoke like English in Nigeria, like your English is so good. I'm like, Aisha, I'm like, it's my fault. Like I'm just taking all the blame in my chest, like it's my fault that I'm here. I should not be here. That was obviously the first and last day, but I encounter a lot of things like that where people are just very, very ignorant and they're not even taking the time to educate themselves.
Just the black people.
It's not just the black people. I feel like for me it was more annoying because I expected more from that black person, but with the Mexicans I'm just like, I get that question a lot, especially about the language. Like, oh my God, your English is so good. Like, what do you guys speak in Nigeria? Like, and then I would be like, oh, Nigeria's official language is English. And then they'll be like, yeah, but like, what do you guys speak? Like, what's your language? I'm like,
it's English.
English. Like they expect me to just say some, and then I now break it down and say, okay, there's Yoruba. They say, oh, so do you speak? Can you speak? So I'm like, you don't even understand. Can't you just take the English I'm giving you? So it's a really interesting scene. That whole thing is really interesting.
So you spoke about time, and you said that one of the good things is that you feel like you have more time in your hands. What other good things? Because we've talked about like transportation was really good, food, sorry, not like tacos. Social life, well, you're open, thank God for your life. Yeah. But what other interesting, good culture shock have you like?
I think generally like the Mexicans, like it was really easy for me to settle in. I did have a lot of difficult days. Just again, the language barrier is a real issue. But people, I realized that people, random strangers, and this is not like Bumble level connection, just random strangers on the streets. People are always like really willing to help you and help you figure out whatever it is that you need to do. And
London, their slogan is "Mind your."
Yeah, no, that one is definitely something I can remark on. You know, they're helpful to the point where sometimes it's stressful because the person you're asking the question doesn't know the answer, but they feel the need to tell you something just so they are helping you. And sometimes what they're telling you is not what you need. It's like maybe you're asking like, okay, a good example is when I first moved there and I went to the bank. So I went to the bank the first time to open an account. I went with a friend who's Mexican, so you know she helped with all the translation and that went really smoothly. Then I tried to send money from my US account to my Mexican account, but it didn't come. And I was wondering what the problem was, so I ended up going to the bank again the next, like maybe a couple of days after, but by myself this time because she was unavailable. I spent so many hours in the bank. They kept telling me different things. They were like, oh, they need my passport, they need this. At the end of the day, they were just like, wait, we don't know what the problem is and we can't help you. And I'm like, why did I go through like all of this? And it's because they just couldn't tell me that from the beginning. Like they felt the need to. And I've experienced that a lot in many different scenarios as well, where people just feel the compulsive need to, I don't know, just say things. I'm just like, just say it out. Like there's no need for me and you to do. So it's a very interesting place to be, honestly. Like I always have to find a balance. Like when somebody tells me something, I go and ask like multiple other people, like just to be sure that this person just did not want to tell me they don't know, because it feels like they actually have that need to, you know, really help and not just say they don't know.
London are very different. London is mind your business.
I've seen like, the tweets. You will cry on the tube and nobody will pay attention to you.
Now I know that so much that sometimes I go out knowing that nobody's paying attention to me. Like I feel like I can dress anyhow I want to dress. I can. Yeah. Because there I took a robe to school just down here because I'm like, really, nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to care.
Nobody actually cares.
And it's just downstairs. Please, there's no need to change. Let me just carry a robe and carry jackets. And I literally went down. Like it's so. I was at bank the other time. That's the area, and I was lost, and I couldn't figure Google Maps at that time, and I was not using City Mappers or any of them. I was trying, like, it just wasn't working. So I asked someone, can you help me find this place? And the guy was like, don't you have Google Maps? He was like, do you have a mobile phone? And I was like, do you have Google Maps? Like, try it. There's no impulsive need.
Yeah, no, it's different.
To feel like
a Mexican will pull up in their phone and go through the process. It's a really wonderful thing, to be honest. Like, I'm grateful for it because, like I said, language barrier is a real thing. It's a really real thing. Like, at least now I'm a bit more confident. You know, I recognize certain words, so I'm not completely blank or lost. But initially it was really hard, especially when I would go into public spaces and have to interact with people by myself when it's just me. And no.
So what would you say is your top 2 tips for anyone who is moving to a place where their language is not the official language of the country?
Definitely, number 1, learn the language. You don't have to be super fluent, speak like a Mexican. Like, I mean, that's going to take you a while, but you need to make a conscious effort to actually learn the language. Like, it's so important. Not just even for comfort. Like, you may feel like maybe it's something you need to make you more comfortable, but it's actually an essential. It's what you need to do a day-to-day life in a foreign country. You need the language. Think about, like, you know, you have something that needs to be fixed in your house. Like, think about random scenarios where you need to interact with somebody by yourself. And most of these people speak only the language of the country. Like, in my case, it's Spanish. So definitely learn the language. Second thing, you need to be open-minded. You need to be open-minded to the food, to the culture, to the people, the music. Because I was gonna ask, girl, like, you make friends, and these people that you're meeting with and you're making friends with, they want to learn about your culture, but you need to understand that you are the person who's visiting or who is now like new here. So you're the one that needs to be immersed into the things into their own life. Like, that's how it feels most of the time, because it's different. It would be the other way around if they came to your own country. They would feel the need to be immersed. So you need to be really open-minded. Like, my friends who play music, and in fact, like, I was looking the other day at my Spotify, like my liked songs, and I was like, there's a lot of Spanish songs here. Like, and I actually like them. So I've really discovered a lot of random music that I never would have been open to if I, you know, stayed in like Nigeria or stuff.
UK music. I went to a place the other day and they played the songs. I was like,
I mean, to be fair, I can't blame you.
You heard the songs, right?
UK music is all right.
Like, come to like Afrobeats, guys.
I mean, but yeah, you do need to be open to the culture of the place that you're visiting, the culture, the food, the people. You just need to be open-minded, right? You need to not set standards for the place before you actually give it a chance to show you. Like, you need to give the new home, your new country, a chance to actually show you what it's like. You can't set standards and have like expectations and stuff like that, because that's just a really difficult place to be. So honestly,
and I think that actually applies, like, regardless of like where you move to, just being very open-minded is like super important.
You'll be very surprised what you find. Like, there are things that I've actually now really come to like, and they've come to become like part of me. Like, I now have my own routine. Like, I feel like I've carved my own small world in the big chaos that is moving to a country where I don't speak the language, and a new country where, you know, all the people I can really relate with, my friends that have like my life's context, they're not there. Girl, when I first moved, that was one of my biggest problems, because I would be closing from work, and that's the time when I now want to start connecting with my friends and having conversations. And people are sleeping, people are going, people are texting me good night. I'm dropping off my last minute of the meeting of the day, and people are like, oh yeah, I'm really tired.
So are we behind or ahead?
You guys are ahead. Oh. So by the time I'm waking up, I literally wake up every day to messages from my friends in this side of the world, in Europe and in Nigeria, because so many things have already happened for them. Like, they've done things, and I'm just like, oh, okay.
And when you're ready, you're like,
when I'm ready, they're like, it's been a long day. So you also have to be intentional about connecting with your friends, and because it's really easy to get caught in that cycle, and then you realize that you now start to unintentionally isolate yourself, and you're not reaching out to the people that matter to you just because of the time zone and stuff like that. That's something I mean, I don't even think I had to learn it, because I honestly can't live without my friends. So me, I was just like, we have to figure this thing out. I'm sorry, but I need to talk to you people. So I think that's also something that you need to be conscious about, and you need to also be intentional about, like, making sure that you're still able to foster the relationships that matter to you, and also like build the connections that matter to you, regardless of, you know, the location or time difference and stuff like that. It can be hard, but it's possible.
Interesting. And I think that's like a brilliant way to end the video. I think the only thing I'll probably add would just be to explore, and it's very similar to what you said about being open-minded. Like,
it's so important.
You're in a new place, or you're going to a new place. Like,
travel. Don't just restrict yourself to the city that you're in, or the city that you move to. Move around. Actually, give the country, the whole country a chance.
Yeah,
because it's different. It's mostly different. At least for me, it's very different than being in Nigeria, where there's lots of fears about traveling interstate and stuff like that. In Mexico, there's so much to see, like so much to see. I haven't even scratched the surface of it, and that's something I find really exciting. So I think travel is also really important. Like,
so like explore people, food, places. You literally will never know how awesome it would be, like Spanish music. if you don't give it a chance, or how annoying it would be. Like,
exactly. Exactly.
If you don't give it a chance, so like
yeah.
explore, it would be hard. Like regardless of like language, moving to a new place can feel very lonely and isolating and hard, but it can also be tremendously fulfilling. Like
yeah, absolutely.
So like put yourself in it, explore, and you know, we wish you the best time.
Yeah, best of luck.
Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you don't leave this channel without subscribing. I'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Peace out. Bye.
Good job, good job, good job.